I tested over 20 AI logo generators, all selected based on popularity and real user feedback. I gave each one the exact same task: to create a logo for a fictional coffee shop I made up just for this test. Some tools generate logos completely from scratch, while others only use AI partially. So I split them into 2 groups to keep things fair. I also tested ChatGPT, MidJourney, and a couple of other general AI tools. Watch till the end to see how they performed. You'll find links to all the tools I tested in the video description. If this helps you out, a quick like and subscribe would really mean a lot. Let's start with Logo Diffusion. This one is a full AI logo generator that creates designs from scratch based on a text prompt. You can choose from different styles and tweak a few settings. When you register, you get 20 free credits. That was enough for me to create 10 logos. For the first try, I didn't change anything, just added my prompt describing the logo I wanted. I left the Enhance prompt setting turned on. It adds more details automatically. The first results were 2 simple icons without any text. That's when I realized I should select the logo style specifically, so I tested a few different styles to compare. Some of the logos came out with a bright red background. I didn't notice at first, but it turned out there was a color palette pre-filled in the prompt settings. You can change or remove it if needed. In my case, it wasn't a big deal. I could just remove the background later. I liked 2 styles the most. First, the logo style, because it included both the icon and the brand name. It looked finished and ready to use. The second one was Mascot. It created fun little characters based on coffee beans, but it didn't include any text, so I had to add the brand name manually. There's a feature called Use as Input Image that lets you add text inside the tool, but it's part of the paid version. So instead, I used an external editor to add the name. I couldn't choose which one I liked more. The logo version was simpler and ready to go, but the mascot one looked more creative, even though it required a bit of manual editing, which technically isn't full AI generation. So for the final comparison, I'll include both versions from this tool. The basic plan costs $24 a month and gives you 1,000 credits, enough for around 500 logo generations. It also includes a commercial license, 50 vector exports, and a few other features. I also noticed 2 extra features that looked pretty cool. The first one is Sketch to Logo. You can draw a rough sketch, and the AI will turn it into a finished logo. Perfect if you already have something in mind. The second one is called Logo to Logo. You upload a logo, and the AI can redesign it or apply a new style. Overall, I really liked this tool, both the features and the quality of the logos it generated. It works great if you just want a quick, unique logo in a couple of clicks, but it also offers enough control and extra tools for more advanced users and designers. Next up is Kittl. What caught my attention right away was how creative the results were. I added my prompt and started getting some really unusual logos. At first, I thought I had chosen the wrong style or messed something up, but all the settings were correct. So I started tweaking the prompt to see if I could get more classic or minimalist results. The tool gives you some free credits, so you can fully test it before paying. After a few tries, I managed to generate a version I actually liked. It looked stylish and not too weird. In the editor, you can pick from suggested color palettes, or customize the colors for each element manually. The AI did ignore the name of the coffee shop and added some random text instead, but that was easy to fix in the editor. After a couple more edits, I ended up with a version I was happy with. There's also a built-in mockup tool, where you can instantly preview how your logo would look on different products and packaging. All paid features, including vector export and AI credits, are available in the Basic Pro plan, which costs $15 a month. It gives you 200 credits, which is more than enough to create a logo. Like I said earlier, what really stood out here were the original and creative logo generations. They felt different from most other tools I tested. The editor is also super powerful, with lots of features and customization options. But it might feel a bit overwhelming if you're just looking for a quick, one-click logo without much editing. At first, AI Magicx didn't look too promising. The example logos on the homepage reminded me of basic ChatGPT-style generations. There was only one free logo, and no clear way to buy credits. I almost skipped it and planned to place it near the bottom of the list. But after digging in, I realized you have to create an account on a separate page. Once you're logged in and go to the actual logo tool, it's a completely different experience. You get 5 free generations every 30 days, and there's a much more advanced interface with more styles and settings. I tested 5 different styles, and most of the results were clean, minimal, and nicely designed. There's a wide range of customization options, though many of them are locked behind the paid plan. The starter plan costs $25 a month and includes 250 generations plus 25 vector exports or image upscales. One unique feature here is the negative prompt field, where you can type in things you don't want in the logo. Strangely, it defaults to text, but the logos still included the brand name anyway. Overall, it's a solid and capable tool. The first test generation is misleading, and there's no clear info about the full version or how to unlock it. Plus, I had some trouble finding my generation history to download the files. But since the tool is still in beta, I'll give it some slack. I ended up choosing this logo. It felt minimal, modern, and pretty stylish. Next up is Wix, a popular website builder that also has its own AI logo generator. What stood out right away is that it starts with a chatbot. It asked me a few questions about my business and what kind of logo I wanted. Nothing too deep, just a quick setup. After that, everything happens in a regular editor. The logos here are more on the clean and minimal side. Some don't even have an icon, while others are more creative, so there's a nice variety. I did wonder if Wix was just using a library of icons and matching them with text. But after reverse searching some logos in Google, I didn't find exact matches. Though later in the editor, you can replace the icon using their icon library, so there's probably a mix. For this video, I picked one of the more unusual designs, and I'll keep doing that in the next tools too, just to make the final comparison more interesting. Otherwise, it would be all cups and coffee beans. The editor is pretty simple. I chose a color palette and previewed how the logo would look on different mockups. You can download a small preview for free, but to get the full resolution logo, it's either a $20 one-time payment or $5 per month with a subscription. Next is Canva, a well-known platform for design and visual content. I actually spent the most time here, just trying to figure everything out. There isn't a dedicated AI logo maker, so I started with the general image generation tool, assuming it would handle graphic design well, and I was right. One of my first prompts gave me a logo that looked clean and stylish. To keep things interesting and avoid the usual coffee cups and beans, I tried a few more playful prompts, including one that ChatGPT suggested, and the results turned out super cute. Then I refined the prompt, asking it to avoid cats and typical symbols, but that didn't really work. Like many other AI tools, Canva doesn't seem to handle "don't include" instructions unless there's a special field for negative prompts. I also noticed some logos had weird, blurry text, classic AI artifact issues that used to make design tools unusable. You can fix the text manually in the editor, but that requires a paid subscription, which is $15 a month. Later, I found that if you uncheck Create an Image, you get other options. But honestly, it didn't feel much different. I tried various prompts and noticed many of the logos looked pretty similar in style and color. I ended up picking a fun logo with a cat. Canva is a powerful tool with lots of features. I liked the results overall, but it's clearly not focused on logo creation, and it doesn't offer a separate editor or settings made specifically for logos. Then I tried Ideogram. It's not a logo-focused tool, but many users recommended it for that, and honestly, I agree. It's mainly designed for AI image generation, but one of its strengths is how well it handles text, which turns out to be really useful for logos. When you sign up, you get 12 free credits, which is enough for about 24 generations. I tested a few prompts, and the results actually impressed me. The logos looked clean, stylish, and well-made. I even had a hard time choosing my favorite. The only downside is that the designs aren't super original, so to get something truly unique, you need to write a more detailed and creative prompt. There's no advanced editor here like in some of the earlier tools, but they do offer extra features in paid plans starting at $8 a month with 400 credits. In the end, I picked this one. I liked how naturally the text was blended into the coffee bean icon. Next up is Looka, a tool that kept popping up in recommendations for its functionality and user-friendly interface. It starts with a short setup where you answer a few questions, choose some logos you like visually, pick a color scheme, and select icon types. It generates a pretty big batch of logo options to choose from. One thing I really liked here was the editor. It's clean, intuitive, and makes it super easy to adjust layouts, colors, and more. I ended up changing the icon from the original version, which made me wonder, like with Wix, how unique these icons really are, and whether they're AI generated or pulled from a library. But I reverse searched it and didn't find any matches. After tweaking the colors, I got a final version that looked more modern and techy than cozy and warm, but I actually liked that contrast. As for pricing, you can get a low-res version with a solid background for $20. The full high-res version with extra features costs $65. Now let's talk about Procon.AI. You enter your brand name, a short description, and pick the style you want, and then it immediately asks you to buy credits. This is the only tool I tested that doesn't offer any kind of free trial. For the sake of this video, I bought the smallest pack, $5 for 10 generations. Here are the results I got. Some of the logos were pretty original, but a few felt overly geometric, like too many lines and shapes packed into one design. There's no editor and no extra tools. You just get the option to download the logo, including a vector file. So, is it worth $5? Hard to say. On one hand, you do get vector logos right away. On the other, no free testing and expensive generations. I'd only recommend it if none of the previous tools worked for you. Next, I'll briefly show a few tools that call themselves AI logo generators, but only use AI partially. In some of these, you start by picking icons you like, and then the tool combines them with your brand name to create a logo. But those icons often come from a built-in library, created by designers or maybe AI generated earlier, so they're not unique. That means other users can end up with the same icon, even if you're allowed to use it commercially. Maybe some AI is used to match the icon with your name or slogan more smoothly. These tools can be useful if you just need a simple, ready-to-go logo in a couple of clicks. For example, Fiverr Logo Maker says it uses AI, but here's how it actually works. You enter your brand info and preferences, and the tool shows you a set of logos, but under each one, it says Designed by, with the name of the creator. So these logos were made by real designers, and the tool simply combines them with your name and slogan. You can get a nice-looking logo this way, but it's not full AI generation like the tools I showed earlier in the video. So next, I'll just briefly show the process and the final logo from each of these similar tools. They all follow the same basic approach and don't offer much in terms of unique features or advanced functionality. BrandCrowd. Brandmark. Tailor Brands. LogoAI. Designs.ai. Logo Maker. LogoMaster. Logo.com. LogoPony. Turbologo. Web. Let's finish by testing some general AI tools that aren't focused on logo design, but can still create logos pretty well. First up, of course, is ChatGPT. It's now surprisingly good at generating images, especially when it comes to placing text inside them. The free version lets you create multiple images per day, which is a nice bonus. I also used it to come up with prompt ideas for logo generation, and you're seeing some of those results on screen now. The logos turned out simple, but clean and fully usable without much editing. That said, there's no built-in editor, no vector export, and no extra tools. If you need a basic logo and you're comfortable doing a few edits or converting it to vector elsewhere, it's a solid option. Next, I tested MidJourney, and this time, there's no free option. I had to get the $10 monthly plan, which gives you 200 generations. After trying a few prompts, the first issue was obvious. MidJourney still struggles with text. You get misspelled words, missing letters, or decorative elements that look like text but aren't readable. The second thing I noticed is that it often generates illustrations rather than actual logos. Some of the designs were visually striking and pretty creative. If you're looking for a ready-to-use logo, MidJourney definitely isn't the right tool. But if you want to experiment with icon ideas and have time to play with prompts, it could be useful. Though personally, I'm not sure it's worth the extra effort. I picked this logo because I liked the overall look, but the text around the cup would need to be replaced before using it anywhere. I also tried Microsoft Designer. The name sounds like it should be perfect for design tasks, but in practice, it didn't work that well. The tool kept showing errors during generation, and I couldn't get anything useful, neither from image prompts nor from icon generation. I managed to pick one icon that looked decent, but it needed extra work and custom text added separately. And finally, I tested Adobe's AI tool. Adobe is known for its powerful creative software, with AI features already built into Photoshop. So you'd expect logo generation to be solid too. But the results I got this week were pretty underwhelming. When I tried to guide it by asking for a minimalist vector logo, the AI started drawing a full coffee shop building, which doesn't really work as a logo. Unless that's the style you're going for, it's not very useful. I picked something just to wrap it up, though nothing really stood out. Out of all the general AI tools in this category, I'd say ChatGPT performed best. The design was simpler than some of MidJourney's outputs, but at least it gave me a clean and usable result. Let's jump straight into the final comparison. You can see all the logos I ended up choosing from each tool. And if you want to check out any of them yourself, you'll find all the links in the video description. Let me know in the comments which ones you liked the most. If you have any favorite alternatives I didn't cover, feel free to share those too. If there's enough interest, I'll make a part 2. As for me, my personal favorites, both in terms of design and functionality, were Logo Diffusion, Kittl, Magicx, Ideogram, and Canva. Your results might look completely different, so it's worth trying a few yourself. Most of them are free and only take a minute. I hope this comparison was helpful and that all the testing and editing was worth it. If it was, give the video a like and subscribe for more. Thanks for watching.